What's up? What I tell you, I'm coming at you every week. This is What's Up with Pastor Greg. I know you see me, I'm looking at you. Don't act like you can't see me looking at you because I know I'm on you, right? We are here once again on What's Up with Pastor Greg. And today our guest is my brother, my friend, my partner. This dude, I'm trying to tell you something. You're going to meet a guy that is phenomenal, is out of the world. You know, ever since we ever met together, I thank God that he brought us together and whatnot. We've been growing together. I mean, this dude is like the counterpart of me and him, you know, and plus we got some style about ourselves and some grace. You know, we're a grateful, recovering person. I don't want to stand on preliminaries anymore. I want to introduce you to my friend and my brother, Bill Kolberg. What's up, Bill?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, all is well, man. How are you and yours doing, especially during this pandemic? You know, that's
Hey,
supposed to like scare us.
yeah, well, I'm working, and just honestly dealing with it the best you can. So, wearing our masks,
Yeah.
but some people should just wear masks all the time so they're not able to put any liquor up to it. You know what I mean? So, but it's been an experience for me. It really
Right.
has. I mean, I
I
told
hear
I
you.
told you I told you what I do.
Yeah.
I'm just a few blocks from the mission, so it's just been an interesting perspective to see how everyone else is going through their stuff too.
Right.
So I get firsthand experience of seeing everybody's experience. So it just kind of makes it all surreal for me, and blessed that I am where I'm at.
But you said something we talked earlier, getting ready, for this particular segment, that some of your observations of people coming and going are very beneficial, reflective wise, when we get to see where we were in their lives and some of the things that they do and say are very comical, where we could actually see ourselves, and say, oh my goodness, I really was like that, really?
Yeah. Honestly, day in and day out, man, I see different phases of my recovery and
Wow.
phases I haven't reached yet.
Wow.
So, I see where I was. I see I could have been maybe worse, but I see people in the current recovery program I was in who come through there, and it gives me a chance to even kind of, I more than tell people, oh yeah, that's the program I was in, and I mentioned the same advocates that I used, and I try to mentor as much as I can without another. The thing of where I'm working too is you got to kind of be careful on how much you're willing to mentor them, because I don't want them to be grown dependent on me either. So, but then I see people that were in the program that are excelling better than I am. So it's like phases of where I want to eventually be. And, so it does make it hard, because you see those few people that, even me personally, as much as I don't want to, I just kind of gave up with them,
Right.
you know.
But you
So
said something key that's worthy of sticking a pin in, man. You said boundaries. You didn't
yeah,
actually use the word, but you gave basically the textbook description, the boundaries, though we in our call 13th step, giving it away, sharing our strength, our experience, strength, and hope with others. We still have to appreciate and recognize that we have boundaries. I want to help you, but not at the expense of one, hurting myself or hurting you, by recognizing that this journey of recovery, one, is personal. It's I can introduce and I can share with you some ways, but I can't make you take that way, nor am I responsible for the way that you go. But see, that's mature recovery, in my opinion, Bill, that you recognize that there are boundaries to it. I want to help you, but I don't want to either enable you or I don't want to enable myself.
correct. So, another thing that's really been helping me is, we've talked about it in relapse prevention, is the goal setting.
Yeah.
That's one of the founding blocks of my recovery is always setting goals. Now, I didn't dream of becoming a manager when I started working there. I actually started working there for no responsibility. I
Okay.
seen my son was working there, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I don't want any pressure. I don't want this. I want to, but it kind of grew. Like, this is like a higher power God thing, because he only gives you as much as you can handle.
I hear you.
So it like happened in stages. Like, all right, well, you can do this specific job, and then more responsibilities came upon me as my pride and integrity in my work got more and more in depth.
Mhm.
So I started appreciating myself more as time grew, and it seems like the responsibilities of the job grew with it, coincided with my recovery.
I hear you.
So, and as of right now, a lot of my momentum and a lot of things that keep me going is I'm not only responsible for myself, now I'm responsible for 9 other people.
Yeah.
So if I go, I'm really hindering the people that I'm working with too.
Man, you
So,
said a lot of layers of stuff right there, because I think that, and actually I know that because when inside of lives, and you and I would agreed on this many, many times before, inside of us lives values, significance, worth, and importance. And the chemicals, whatever they may be, can kind of mar that, can deaden that, put it to sleep, and try to convince us that we don't have any worth, significance, or importance. But those are lies. Those lies come straight from the pit of hell, and that part of our recovery is reconnecting with that sense of value, significance, importance, and that now that you've tapped into it for your own self, it's like it's taking you on a upward and forward trajectory. You know what I'm saying? That now has translated into elevating you in position and with greater responsibilities. And I really appreciate what you said, because now, if you fall, then there's 9 others that are connected to you. And it's like, I'm hearing you say that with that connection of responsibility, that also helps and supports your efforts on your path of recovery. I get that correct?
yeah, you did. And reflecting back on what I was talking about earlier, seeing those different phases of the different customers that I deal with day in and day out, even seeing some of the only, the people that I work with, it's just a constant reminder.
Wow.
So with that, the added responsibilities, the things that I'm personally trying to do with the store that I'm managing right now, it's it's uh it's all goal oriented. So, and it's just been a really nice ride. So,
I hear you.
uh, my the owner has talked to me, and he says, well, we don't want you getting complacent in the spot that you're in. We don't you to feel that you're, going to be at a dead end. So we don't want this to be the stop of your career or ride with us. So, and that's also giving me something else to look forward to. And I think that's huge in recovery, is always trying to put yourself in a position to be able to try to look forward to doing something more. And
Yeah.
like you said, which as far as the haze or whatever, I call it a cloud, when you're clouded with judgment because
Mhm.
of the chemicals, it
Mhm.
makes it hard for you to focus on what is important.
And what's
It's very
inside of you, dude, that like
right.
you said, that's important. But see, you said another key thing, that it should be an incentive to all of recovering people. People are watching you. They're always watching you. They're not watching you always with a critical eye. They're watching you, to even see your growth, and to see you thrive and become, because we glean information from each other in a variety of different ways. We already know we're relational beings. Yeah, everybody wants to be with somebody. We can't stand being alone. But then to notice that those that you work for, that they've noticed you, that you've got talent, that you've got skill, and that they see what you're doing and say, I want to be a part of your story. I want to be, how can I be a part of your story if it's no more than to recognize your talents, gifts, and ability and give you opportunity, but they want to be a part of a story that is about something, and this is what I'm hearing is that your work has been noticed and they also see the value and significance and importance that you have. And they say, I want to be a part of your story, and that's what I believe, that when you work a program of recovery, a healthy program of recovery, a progressive program of recovery, it invites other people to want to be a part of your story.
Yeah, and I invite that, but I don't advertise it.
I hear you, bro.
So
we don't have recovery. I'm in recovery, or I'm a recovering person signs, people.
No, but
we don't wear those buttons either.
in a class though, I believe we had, you were like, go, hey, hi, I'm I'm Greg. I'm a addict. How you doing? So it's not something we have on a little billboard on our chest with red lights saying, hey, look at me, I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic.
I'm defected. All right.
If it is something that could possibly help influence someone else into following the ways of recovery, then I have no problem throwing it out there of who I am.
Right.
So, but is it something I want to sit there and, scream from the rooftops? No, not really.
No, I have to.
But I don't have a problem sharing it when.
But you know what you're saying, Bill, is key. People listen to what Bill just said. You don't have to advertise, go out there. And remember, we used to talk about this a lot. You got to go out there and talk about, hi, I'm in recovery. No, just, we appreciate the celebration of the coins and all the adulation and stuff. Yeah. But the goal of recovery is healthy, functional living people. That people would just see that you are a contributor to society. They will notice there's something unique about you, and that might invite a conversation. And then that's when you disclose. But please don't put your picket signs down, put shirts down, put the buttons down. Don't be going around talking about, hi.
Well, even if someone told me, hey, I got a year in, I'll give them my coin, because you know why? I'll go look at my truck, I'll look at my apartment, I'll look at my bank account and realize I wouldn't have any of it if I was still in the crap. So
go ahead, man.
Yeah.
You just spit some serious fire right there, man. I mean, you said, wait a minute, Bill, stick a pin in there. Dude, you said something powerful. You said when you look at your truck, when you look at your crib, when you look at your job, when you look at your paycheck, when you look at your bank account, those are the indicator signs and cues that you are in healthy living. This is recovery, okay? Not walking around here, with a bunch of, crackheads like 10 feet away from you talking about, oh, he used to smoke crack with us too. No, you don't need all that.
No. In fact, when I do see that, I'm like, dude, you got to take that off the property, man.
Right? And then this ain't that kind of business. This ain't, the crack stop.
Yeah. It's been a ride though. Now I tell you,
good ride. Yeah.
Relapse prevention was a huge building block. Taught me a lot of things.
Especially, man.
And a lot of things that I carried over. And I'll tell you what, helping out with the class was huge for me, because that made me research things that I didn't even know. It gave me more insight. But one thing I do know too is we can't try to dig too deep into the complexity of it, because with the nature of the beast, it's simple to relapse, and it could be something simple that makes us relapse. It's the little things that it's just some of the little things that we overlook. But if we overcomplicate things, then we're worried if we miss something. So that's an extra anxiety, which obviously, anxiety helps lead into you know, the negative
It's a
thinking.
big contributor to it because that's the moniker or the motto that they have. You're probably familiar with it, called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, and that's what I'm hearing you really emphasize, that you know we got to keep it simple,
Yeah.
because if it gets too complicated, too complex, then that can contribute, once again, what he just said, contribute to a relapse. Now, people, you know, what is a relapse? You know, basically, it's a sign, it's an indicator, and a cue is that you need some work to strengthen an area of your recovery. It does not mean that you are a failure. It doesn't mean that you're flawed. It doesn't mean that you're defected. It means that, one, you can't have relapse. You and I would know this, Bill, well, that you can't have relapse unless you have recovery. All it's saying is that there's an area in your recovery programming, your plan, your journey, or whatnot, that just needs a little bit more focus, that needs a little bit more attention, that needs a little bit more strength. All of us have experienced relapse. In fact, I had another guest on here a couple of weeks ago who used to be the president of Project Rehab, and he's a grateful recovering person. And he said that you might as well accept it. Relapse is a part of recovery. Not that we are endorsing this, people. Hear me well. We are not endorsing a relapse. We just recognize that it may occur, but you shouldn't think about it as a toxic way. You should think about it as this is an opportunity to grow stronger, to go wiser, to become better, but to keep it simple, just like Bill said.
But the only way to relapse is to take recovery seriously in the first place. You have to make that initial effort to quit and to live a new way of life in order to even have a relapse in the first place.
Okay, hold on, Bill, before you go. Did you just hear what he said? I'm gonna take my glasses off and holler. Did you hear what he said? Go ahead, Bill.
I said you need to have the idea that you have to make the effort to stop with the mindset that you want a better life. Otherwise, it's not a relapse. It's just continuous usage.
No. And that's another thing that you know, he did co-lead the groups because he's a leader. There's a leader in all of you, one way or the other. You just got to find your niche, you know. But the only way you can lead is that you got to be able to be willing to follow, you know, and to use information. I like Bill's approach. Keep it simple. Don't get it too complicated, because our life is not like that. You know, one step at a time, people. Just one step at a time. But you said something earlier, you know, you had one of those God moments here where you're working at right now. But you had another God moment, man, that, you know, I actually have etched in my brain by way of memory, because it was just powerful, man. Would you mind sharing a little bit of that story?
What's that?
When you came from Saginaw.
Oh, yeah. So I went there to take care of a warrant, and it was for my third DUI. And so I get there, I got a court date coming. Rhonda sent all my paperwork. She got in contact with you guys. Actually, I think I called you from Kent County myself, and before I transferred out to Saginaw. And so something that could have been very, very bad, they gave me time served with like $300 in fines. And a lot of it had to do with and I was sober. So I had been sober for a year. I got my certificate through you and a letter of recommendation from Pastor Mark. And these guys were so ecstatic. The lady, Madam Judge, she's seen the excitement in my voice when I was talking about relapse prevention.
Yeah.
So they let me out. They let me go. And so they gave me the money I had left over. I went to a party store 2 blocks down the road to cash my check. And the first thing I thought of was I could get a bottle, some cigarettes, I could get a hotel room for the night. And I'm like, no. So after I got that, I went to walk down to the hospital, which is like 4 or 5 city blocks down there, so I could use their public phone. But I happened to run into it was like a junior, like a relapse prevention center.
Mm-hmm.
So this lady, I talked to her, and she's like, this guy will call me. He's a recovery coach. And I'm like, okay. So I get set up. I was going to go to the mission there in Saginaw. I had no, it was a snowstorm, and the Greyhound buses weren't running.
Right.
So I would have had to spend the night in Saginaw after I got out of jail at 4 o'clock. There was no way back home. I'm on my way to the mission, and then the recovery coach, I called him from the hospital, and there's like 18 inches of snow on the ground. He says, I'll come pick you up and take you to the mission, which was like 2-3 miles away.
Mhm.
And so he gets up to the hospital about an hour later, and then we were on the way to the mission, and he's like, man, he's like, that place is worse than staying on the street. He's like, you could relapse right in there. He's like, there's more alcohol there than there is at the store you cash your check at.
Right.
I'm like, I'm like, well, I don't really have a choice for tonight, man. Thanks for the ride. And he turns on and gets onto the highway. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm taking you home.
Wow.
So usually Saginaw to here is what, 2 hours? It took us like 3.5 hours to get here through the snowstorm. You know, I paid for his gas, and he came in and he hugged Rhonda, hugged me, and you know, shared a little bit of his story. But just the 4-5 different things that happened in the matter of 2-3 hours was just a God thing. Like,
I hear you, bro.
who in their right mind would, for one, go pick up a stranger that they have no idea who it is,
Right.
for one, and then for two, you know, he's talking to me, we're talking about recovery for like a few minutes while he's driving, and whatever I said made him feel compelled almost to give me a ride all the way home to keep me safe.
Wow.
And that wasn't him keeping me safe. That was someone else keeping me safe.
I hear you, man.
So I seen the relapse coming
I hear
the
you.
second I went into that party store. But I just chose not to buy the alcohol. And I was at my my weakest moment, you could say, with, you know, with a very low outlook on things at that point.
Yeah.
So
And
um
which that would happen to any of us. I
yeah.
mean, that's common, Bill. I mean, that would happen to any of us. I mean, we all face, because I remember when it happened, that was like something that blindsided you, dude. I mean, you know, we've been working together. We was getting plans together, doing some more stuff. You know, then all of a sudden this came up and blindsided you, as the way life is sometime, a blindside. And that's why I really want to put an emphasis on this. That is a common feeling. Okay. I mean, dude, when I face stress and frustration, aggravation, irritation, there are times I think about going back and using. Okay. Because it seems like it would be an easier way out, or just from relief. But then when you take the time, like you took, and that's why I really want you to share a story, because you took the moment, you know, which means that moments are presented for us to make choices. You took the moment and you made the choice. And by taking that moment, breathing in just for a moment, not acting out, then we find out that the heavens had opened up and they already provided some support and some help for you, so that you can continue on the journey that you're going. This is common, people, but you got to be aware of it. You know, you got to want it, and then it will come to, you know, you will attract it. You can attract good or you can attract bad. Which one are you attracting today? That's the question.
Well, in that moment that I was at the party store, and I know you've had moments like these too, to where you've played the tape.
Yep.
My tape was, if I start drinking this, I may not even make it to the mission.
I hear you.
I'm at, you know, and then it's cold. I'm in a pair of jogging pants, sweatshirt, light coat. I'm screwed. So I played the tape forward, and the tape is, I know if I start drinking, I can't stop, and I would have drank till I just stopped and fell asleep somewhere, you know, because that's just how I do it when I do it. You know, I drink to be gone,
Yep.
you know, and so when I start drinking, I know it's only a matter of time before I check out for a minute, and that's the tape I played forward. Like, if I do this, you know, I don't know what the end is going to be, But if I don't do this, at least I can kind of navigate to where, you know, where I can go with it. So
That's
playing the
cool,
tape
man. You
forward,
said play
playing
the
the
tape.
tape forward
Yeah.
before you're going to get to the moment maybe to where you grab that drug, you grab that drink, you grab whatever. But if you can take the second just to play it forward and see where it leads you, it might be just enough to stop you.
That's powerful, dude. That's very powerful. You know, like you said, we got this tape inside of us, our life. Take the moment. Repeat that, Bill. I want them to hear this. I want them to hear it again. Tell them just what you just said, man, because this is powerful stuff.
Knowing what drugs and alcohol have done to you before you decide to buy it, put it up to your lips, put it in your arm, put it up your nose, you need to play that tape forward of where that's going to take you. And hopefully that is enough right there to stop you.
Because it's our tape. And it's our tape. It's not about the voices of other people. It's not about what other people have done. It's about this tape plays and previews us. We are the main, we're the actor. We're the main person. We're the center of it. So how do you want to be? And you know what? That's so powerful you said that, because all of us do that, because it doesn't have to be just drugs or alcohol. It can also be behaviors. You know, when stuff is rough, dude, we look for escapes. Let's just be real about it. You know, but there are healthy ones and there also are unhealthy ones. And this is all we're saying to you people. We're not acting like we got it made. Bill and I, we share a similar history. You know, hey, I've been in and out of jail or whatever. And not, probably more than ever Bill have been, you know, and I've been on crack and alcohol and whatever. But there's another other side to this. But you got to work at the other side. And that's why I want to pivot, because where you are right now, Bill, you get exposed to a lot of different people. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of different people. And you see it, as you were sharing me, you see a lot of different things. How do you stay focused?
To
Yeah.
be honest, I do catch myself getting irritated with a lot of the people that are consistently a pain. You know, I try to remain empathetic and I try not to be judgmental. But I'll tell you what, it makes it so hard when you see it day in and day out, to where you're just seeing the same crap every day with the same people. And it's like, I can't help you, you know, there's nothing I can do for you. In fact, I told one guy, you know, I'm like, you come in here, you come in messed up. I know you when you're sober. I know you're a good person. So when you decide to straighten yourself out, come on back. You know, I'm not banning you or barring you. What I'm saying is I don't want you here like this.
Right.
And how does it affect me? It wears on me. But to be honest with you, uh, I've become strong enough and gone long enough without alcohol to where that's not my first way of how I cope with things now. So, I mean, I can't say, and not saying this is an excuse for anybody, but you know, something dramatic like a death in the family or whatever. It's not your right of way to go do what you need to do. But I'm saying the little things don't bother me as much as what they used to. But there's also little things you can do to make yourself feel better about the situation. So, you know, it's coping skills.
Yes.
You know, how you gonna cope with each situation. Sometimes I just need to go in my office and just think about it and laugh. Be like, man, yeah, that could have been me. I'm getting mad at him for being me. You know, so and it's just it's a unique position I'm in, but you know, I don't think it would have been given to me if the man upstairs didn't think I had thick enough skin for it. So, you know, I'm just blessed to be in the mindset that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
And I just hope other people can stay sober long enough to be able to develop into that, because it takes time, man. You know, there's times when I first started this job to where I, you know, my first reaction was, man, this is a drinking day if I want, you know, but no, go home, hunker down, you know. now it's not so bad. So, there are days that I think to drink, but I have it in the idea that I know that all what I've gained in the amount of time that it's taken, which is kind of a long time to get all this stuff, can be gone in an instant with the purchase of one bottle.
That's when you just spoke to your values. I mean, I got to go back a little bit to where you mentioned about when you use the phrase, that tape, play your tape. In that tape, and then really the theme that's really coming out of today, Bill, is boundaries. Though you're exposed to a lot of people, you don't let everybody into your tape. You pick and choose who or what to include and not to include, and that's called healthy boundaries, people, because everybody's story that's not your story, that's their story. I mean, even when he described about he saw the guy, that he could tell the difference when the guy was clean and when the guy was not. He saw a person that had potential, and then he saw the person that was destructive, and then he also gave this guy some boundaries about what I will or what I will not do. And the only way you can do that is if you practice that in your own life, about, don't you have some own boundaries about what you will and what you will not do? Because that's part and parcel of our recovery program, path, journey, whatever you want to call it, is to, one, learn ourselves, give ourselves some healthy boundaries, then tailor, customize, and personalize our own recovery, because my walk is not your walk, even though we meet down the road. You know what I mean? We're gonna meet somewhere down the road because all paths of recovery converge. Regardless of how we got on there, we're gonna meet down the road somewhere. But we're gonna meet down the road as individuals that, as you have said so well, Bill, that have been they developed that tape and they learned the value of the information on that tape, and they would play that back every now and then to kind of keep them on their true course. You know what I'm saying? To occupy that lane and not drift. I hope I captured that well.
Yeah, you did. And I see a lot of people in there who are that come in messed up. And a lot of times, I pulled a few guys aside even and be like, listen, have you tried, talking to so-and-so? Have you tried getting into a program? Have you tried banking some money? Do you need some help? Even it could be just the fact that they're homeless for no apparent, because of other circumstances other than drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like, and that is probably another thing that helps me with my own recovery. Is it just is a constant reminder of the steps that I had to take. Now it's a unique situation for me, but everyone's got their own situation. Everyone's got their own outlets if they want to give back or if they want to help. Celebrate Recovery is a great place for it, because if they can't figure it out, they got you guys to help them figure out where they can be influential to the other people around them. Sometimes just becoming friends with another person in recovery and working the recovery together. Now, I ain't saying hook up with them. I'm saying
we ain't doing no hookups.
I ain't saying hook up with them. I'm saying befriend them.
Yeah,
and if you see them going underwater, you take them by the hair and you pull them back
right.
up.
Yeah, but not the hookup. that leads you into something else.
Yeah.
That's why I thank God. You know what I'm saying, that one, there is a God. Whether you guys want to call him a God or you understand it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. We recognize there's a higher power out there to help you. Okay, whatever you do with that, that's on you. I ain't gonna try to make. Yeah, I'm a pastor and whatnot. I have a different relationship, but that's my relationship. You got to get your own. Again, we might meet somewhere in the middle, but I got mine, baby. You got to get yours. And that's why I value my brother so much, is because I've learned so much from Bill. I've learned from his example. I've learned from his wisdom and whatnot. That's what the community is so important about. When we come together, we share information with each other, experience, strength, hope, whatever. Okay. And then we glean, we can't take everything, right? And he also said, don't take everybody. Don't be trying to be trying. This ain't no dating opportunity.
Wow.
You might be just hooking up with the relapse of a lifetime.
Yeah. It could
You
literally
know,
be the death of you.
you know, but we glean little bits, and then we use that to develop our own, you know, because it's got to be yours if you're gonna keep it. That's why you can, as my man said, you can celebrate all your achievements, all your accomplishments, you know, all the things that you've got that, you know, add to your value, your worth, your significance, and your importance. Now, don't get it twisted. Billy never said, nor am I saying, accumulation of stuff is what it is. No, that's a product of it. That's a result of working your program. You know, then you're able to go out here, and it feels good to be able to go out here and to have some money, right? And without the people, police chasing you, and to do some shopping and stuff, right? And get your own stuff. That feels good.
What else feels good, man, is the relationships that I've regained with my family.
I hear you, bro.
You know,
You just had
that
a celebration recently, right?
yeah, I mean, my son graduated. He's going off to the National Guard here in August. My daughter, see, I was in the position when this coronavirus hit. She goes to NYU.
Wow.
They hadn't found 1,000 cases there yet. I already had her on as soon as NYU closed their campus, I had her a plane ticket here back to Michigan.
Wow.
So I was able to do that because I'm sober.
Hear that? Hear that, people?
You know?
We
So
can do good stuff.
we can do good stuff. So good things happen when we don't use. I mean, that is really, if you want to kiss this one, you know, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Good things happen when we use. Bad things happen when we, or good things happen when we don't use. See,
Y'all got
I'm
it.
going nuts. So
Right.
good things happen when we don't use, and bad things happen when we do.
Yeah.
So if you got a way to edit that first one out when you go
Oh,
to,
we all good. No, this is we human beings. This happens.
So, I mean, it's pretty much one side or another, you know, it's the other side of the coin. I can't remember a good thing that ever happened when I got drunk,
No,
or I just couldn't remember it.
no. I
So,
hear you, dude.
yeah. So,
You said a lot right there.
right.
Blackouts.
Yeah. But the thing is, man, those relationships, those take a long time to heal back up, but it only takes one relapse, one bender to wreck it all.
But you just said a lot, Bill. You said it takes a long time to heal them up, but they do heal.
Yes, they do.
You know, and congratulations, man, on your son's graduation and also being able to get your daughter home. Because our families matter to us, people. You know, so, you know, it's again, whatever you want to make it to be. So, man, hey, man, I want to appreciate you for being on here today. I want to invite you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, dude. I miss you. I appreciate
miss
God
you too,
for
man.
you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, this dude, part of our recovery was we like clothes. We like to get dressed.
Actually, I kind of like that hat.
I know, right? I'm stopped. I'm actually been adjusting just for Bill because I wanted him to see I got this teal hat on with this teal t-shirt and this teal shirt on Oxford on there, you know. And
I just got home from work, so I ain't showing you nothing. So here's my hat.
This is look at it. That's my dude right there, right? Look here, people. We just been here trying to spit a little fire, help you guys out, let you know we're in this together. We some common people. We ain't accomplished. We ain't achieved. We just living, baby. That's what we do. We do it one day at a time, but we don't walk around here as we started out with in this segment with no badges or no buttons on our backs or shirts or whatnot, telling people when we come. We live the life. And that's the most important thing of all, especially when you're gainfully employed and when you're a leader like Bill is. You're going to be exposed to all kind of people, places, and things and whatnot, but it's about you staying true to yourself, to your recovery. You can do it. That's part of preventing the relapse, is valuing yourself. Bill, you got some words we can depart with?
Yeah. Just don't use. That's it. So
Keep it simple, people.
simple.
Hey, my man, I appreciate you.
Anyway.
People, we gonna holler back at y'all next week. Peace out. Stay clean and sober. What's up?